Scooby-Doo back. Welcome back to all my fellow race fans and backseat drivers out there in TV land. How we doing this evening? We're finishing up our time here at Austin at the Circuit of the Americas to the relief of many drivers here who have not fared so well out there at Cota. Very technical track, and we're doing the GTEs, the fastest, and the big boys this evening for Thursday, progressively getting faster over the course of the week. Wrapping up our time here on Thursdays will be the GTEs, and as you can see there, our peers Nick Harwood wanted to take the shorter circuit, but we are not running that this evening. We are in fact doing the entire pit back straight. As you can see, Kevin Sandiego coming down it now. Just 5 odd minutes or so still in practice. Oh, that's not what we were looking for. Trying to get Kevin's details up there. Looking pretty racy out there. Nick Harwood, Andy Cantu currently. Going pretty quick. As best as a 2-minute 4:91. Really approaching that 2-minute barrier. Ooh, Kevin Sandiego whipping it around there. Showing off, he knows I'm watching, and Brian DeVries getting a little wide here at turn 1. Let's take a quick look at our race info at the moment. 87 degrees out there, so we have definitely seen it hotter during the races this week. It's Brian DeVries really pushing it out there, we see. 3.3 miles around this circuit. We have a 50% fuel limit for these GTEs, so we will have a mandatory pit stop about 25 minutes into the race. We have 10 minutes of lone qualifying coming your way, and as you can notice, all of the game files are more or less updated. Trying to anyways, working on it. Thank goodness we have the whole race in the same class. Look at that. What a pro. Troy switching to the RSR. I think he usually likes to run in the Vet. Switched it up. Neat fun fact for everybody out there. You must keep the same GTE and GT3 car, I think GT3 as well, all season long. So what you pick this evening will be your car for the season. Brian Zinn coming around in the RSR as well. Michael Harney has chosen it as well. Stephen Liston, unsurprisingly, in the Vet. The standard Corvette motor racing paint. Although Corey alerted us to their change in paints this season. Michael Johnson in the blue and black Boxer again this season. Justin Torres and a pink and white spiderweb livery this year. So I was trying to get ready for the Sebring 12 hours. Did one of those fancy pure driving school hour and odd minute races. I almost got kicked out. It was a disgrace. It was not very good. I'm trying to get used to getting passed by prototypes there. I like the brakes on the Vet. Hate everything else about it. It just feels slow. Not a fan. Gotta be honest. I didn't even take the freaking M8 over that thing. Andre Prieto is a new member. He has the STK app because he's a winner. And if you want to as well, what is that Colombian flag? I can't quite tell. Oh yeah, Team Colombia de Monamarca. Cool. Anyways, if you want to get the STK app and enter in all your fancy driver details so you can have your team name down there as well, because I am not great at entering in your team name info, go to SDK Gaming or something like that. Oh, thank you so much, thing I told to never alert me again. And that'll do it for our practice session here. That 87-degree track rose again the past tense. I don't like it. It's up to 96% degrees Fahrenheit. Jeez. So a little bit hotter out there. These guys will be running a little bit lighter. We're hearing a lot of these pack of bees, boxer engines out there, swarm of bees. So we will be hearing a lot of that all season long. It is pretty popular. Brian DeVries in the 488. Corey Mitchell back in the vet. He switches it up sometimes with the RSR and the M8. Yeah, and sometimes we had some of this weird popping noise last season. I don't know if it's a... There's something going on wrong though. Nick Harwood. We're a little late, but nonetheless, let's try to go on board with him and check out the rest of his lap. He's still warming these tires up. Sector 2 was also a pretty color for him, so he's grooving out there. So late. So late for him anyway, or for me anyways. And that was a lap from Nick Harwood that puts him on the board. 2 minutes 8:21 is the time to beat Jordan Lacey, currently in second, but that's taken away as Kevin Sandiego crosses the line with a 2:01.5. Gun Kim rounds the final corner. It wasn't a clean one for him. He's not able to give us a time quite yet. Corey Mitchell is followed by Richard Swindells and then Stephen Liston for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Peter Ransom is down in 12th with that last lap. Let's go back on board with these guys. Andy Cantu unable to set a lap time that last one. Oh, getting a ton of that inside curbing. You really have to fear those yellow Doritos in there. Not much fun at all. Kevin Sandiego still 7/10 off of Nick's time at the moment. Andrew Rasmussen is into 12th there. Vincent Wood has gone with the Corvette this season, opposed to his normal BMW. Andy Cantu still not able to set a clean lap. Nick Harwood goes just a touch faster up top. Jordan Lacey up to 3rd with that lap. Kevin Sandiego can't beat his first one out there. Michael Johnson jumps back into the top 10. Jonathan Cooper is into 14th. Just below Justin Torres in 12th with a 2:03. Corey Mitchell puts himself into 6th position, followed by Bjorn Benches there. Vincent Wood gets himself into 10th position, but then that's taken away as Gun Kim gets on to 4th position. That'll put him on the 2nd row. Great lap there. Nick Harwood with an off-track. Kevin Sandiego can't really find the speed at the moment. We got Andrew Durkis out here who is riding in the M8 this season. Then we got Daniel Doan, who also owes us a lap time. Troy Banks in the RSR. And we got 2 admins in the top 10 at the moment. Kent Kruger, I think GTE champion two seasons ago, unable to get on the board at his home race. Andrew Rasmussen up into 17th place with that last one. Andres Prieto still to set a clean lap out there. He's got just enough time to do it. Daniel Doan comes around the final corner, unable to set a time, and I don't believe he'll have enough time to set a clean lap. Kevin Sandiego unable to find speed out there. Jordan Lacey and Gun Kim 3rd and 4th go back to the pits. Brian DeVries setting all white sectors out there at the moment. Clifton Naranjo jumping in the lobby pretty late there. Gets himself up to 6th, relegating Corey down. And then Kevin Sandiego does go a touch faster than his previous lap, cementing his place on the front row. Vincent Wood putting the pedal down with that one, getting on to 7th position. Brian Zinn sliding up to the top 10. Michael Johnson down here in 14th place. Will not have enough time. Michael Harney with all weight sectors out there will not set a faster lap time. Andrew Rasmussen, all weight sectors as well. Actually, Michael Harney able to go a little bit faster and bumps himself up the grid. Clifton Naranjo puts the pedal down towards the end of qualifying, gets up to 4th with that one. Gun Kim dropped down to 5th. And Brian DeVries pulls over and calls it quits with that. Corey Mitchell, 30 seconds to go, is not going to have enough time. Andrew Rasmussen crosses the line, and that's going to be his starting position there in 18th. Unless anybody relegates him further down in the final 15 seconds, which does not look like it's going to happen. Andres Prieto, Kent Kruger, Russell Elizondo still trying to turn laps out there. 5 seconds to go. And that's going to be our grid, ladies and gents. We're going to do a quick rundown out there. We got Nick Harwood on pole position, lining up next to Kevin Sandiego. Andy Cantu's down in 3rd place. He does get on the board, lining up next to Jordan Lacey. Clifton Naranjo is down in 5th. Sorry, I must have missed something right at the end. Andy getting on the grid. And then Gun Kim lining up next to Clifton on the outside. Brian DeVries is going to line up next to Vincent Wood. Then we got Corey Mitchell and Bjorn Benches, fellow admins, lining up next to one another. Rounding out the top 10, Brian Zinn is going to line up next to Richard Swindells, followed by Michael Harney, Stephen Liston. Russell Abraham is going to be with Michael Johnson, Justin Torres, Andrew Rasmussen, Jonathan Cooper, Troy Banks, Tyler Pierre Richards, Peter Ransom, and then we saw Andres Prieto, Daniel Doan in qualifying there, not able to set times. Hopefully Doug to set. Also Ken Kruger there, Michael Bond, Bryce Carter, Russell Elizondo, and Andrew Durkis join us for the race. And it looks like a lot of those guys ended up gridding with us, which is good to see. You can also look on the track map to see some guys waiting to start from the pit lane. Very exciting. We're approaching the final turn now. The pace car heads in. And hopefully we wait for green as Nick Harwood, Kevin Sandiego, Andy Cantu, and Jordan Lacey towards the front. Nick Harwood gets the pedal down early. Everyone makes it around the final turn, it looks like. And it's as you were into the first turn here. Brian DeVries off early, down into 11th place already. Andy Cantu has made his way by Kevin Sandiego early on here. Great early battles. No single file necessary. Nick Harwood very clever on the brake pedal there. Brian DeVries trying to pick up some of those pit positions back after that early off track. Peter Ransom and Daniel Doan still door to door for about half a lap there. It seemed like they were. Michael Johnson gets ahead of Russell Abrahamham. Maybe he's going to be on the outside. And he just manages to hold on to enough speed there. Justin Torres, going almost 3 wide into the second penultimate turn there. Andrew Rasmussen is the one that loses out in that situation, though. Just very awkward angles all coming in there. Down to the first turn for the second time. It's Nick Harwood, Andy Cantu, Kevin Sandiego, and Jordan Lacey up top. Clifton Naranjo still in 5th place there. Brian DeVries has dropped down. Daniel Doan is fighting all over. That looks like Tyler Pierre Richards to the inside. Perhaps Troy Banks just getting sandwiched there. Peter Ransom is to the back. Daniel Doan has he's made his way through. And Brian Zinn looks like he's had a little incident here. I don't know if that was a little tap or a netcode tap or something from maybe Brian DeVries behind, but it has put him back into make that 13th position with Stephen Liston hot on his heels. Nick Harwood still with a 0.8 second gap up top. Ken Kruger trying to go to the inside of Peter Ransom. Looks like he's got that done. If he can control the rear end of that Ferrari that is all over the place, locking up slightly, he's able to stay ahead. Douglas Doucette is in the middle of this sandwich. Now he's got Andres Prieto behind him, and that's Bryce Carter who spun to the... That's somebody. Goodness gracious. I can't even find who that is on track. Is that Michael Bond who was spun to the inside? Stephen Liston getting a little loose there on the second to last turn. Michael Johnson's going to swing on through. And Stephen Liston definitely missing that apex, not able to hit it. But he's able to keep ahead for now. As, what's that? Jonathan Cooper behind Russell. Oh man, and Brian's in with another off track. Let's see what had happened here. Oh, that was very awkward. I didn't quite see. Did he hit the inside Dorito? Yes, he did. And the Dorito will cost you. Well, that'll put him down in another 11 places. Andrew Rasmussen recovering from his early incident. Shutting down Russell Elizondo. Ahead, Justin Torres. Now being hounded by Tyler Pierre Richards. I'm not sure there was any contact there. I think it might have just spun it, being in a really, really stressful, tight situation there. Cliff still riding in 5th place here. Gun Kim still in 6th, just behind him. Jordan Lacey still in 4th. And no, you're not drunk. That was Clifton passing Jordan Lacey there. I really appreciate it when drivers in the same speed, skill range, drive the same livery. It makes it really easy, unless you're all on the same team. If you're in the same team, then please download the STK Gaming app and upload all of your info. Gun Kim trying to look for a way through. Welcome to the Porsche Cup, everyone. In case you were interested. No, we don't need to see that twice. Thank you. A lot of Vets, a lot of Porsches, a couple Ferraris, 3 Beamers, 4 Beamers, not on track. Second place, Andy Cantu. Nailed it! I have no idea what was happening there. He was going to pit. I don't know. I don't know, man. That would get you a slow down penalty, though. That's all I know. Very odd there. Andy Cantu comes to a stop on track in the middle of the track. Kevin San Diego comes through, tags him slightly. Andy takes the tow back to the pits. Brian DeVries been able to claw his way back to his starting position of 7th. He's got Corey Mitchell just ahead, who's doing quite well, up 3 positions. Finds himself in 6th. Oh, good heavens. Let's check out what just occurred here. Oh, the curse of the Dorito. And bam, here it comes, getting that air. And I think that's Brian's in, not for the second time tonight. He's taking a big bite. And that's going to push him all the way down the grid to 21st. Oh, and Tyler Pierre Richards able to possibly take advantage of a sloppy exit by Justin Torres. And he's got that one done. Troy Banks still waiting patiently in the back. Corey with some nice defensive work there, breaking across to the apex, which is allowed. You don't have to break and then turn in, but it's an awkward one. Very big corner, easy to get caught in the vortex, and Corey made sure that did not happen. Gun Kim off the track just ahead of these guys. Just ahead, I mean 7.8 behind these, ahead of these guys. Oh, and Kevin San Diego has had a crash of his own. Coming down to the hairpin, going on to the back straights. It can be a forgiving place as you have lots of road there. He's able to keep it going, and plus it's the slowest turn on track, so you should be taking it pretty slowly. Not much speed or time lost there. Brian DeVries getting to the inside of Corey here. Corey lays on the brakes. Ooh, Doug Doucette also having a spill. Looks like it's down here at T1. And that last spin we saw there at T1 did have some implications, putting Clifton Naranjo down from that final podium position of 3rd into 5th place. Andy Cantu is back out on track. I don't know what happened. He must have had a some sort of emergency. Oh, Daniel, almost all out of shape there. Very late on the brakes, quite brave. Gets that one done. Jonathan Cooper now behind. Michael Harney the next car ahead. Corey Mitchell's able to get that spot back somewhere. Didn't quite see what had happened. Brian DeVries doing something, I don't know. Having a slow down penalty of sorts. Vincent Wood is now right on his tail, so he's got to giddy up down the road. Did you hear that Texas reference? Oh yeah. Give the people what they want. Tyler Pierre Richards making Justin Torres think all the time. Troy Banks patiently waiting for everybody to take their pit stop so he can do an additional 8 laps before coming in. I mean, that really plays to his style totally. He will sit behind a train and soak up that draft. He can probably change the engine mode down and get a couple extra laps. Peter Ransom to the inside of Russell Elizondo, but not as they come together, not able to split apart and get back on the power. Ooh! And Russell has his own issue down at T1. He's going to lose one. He's got, sorry, that's Andy Cantu able to get by. Bryce Carter is now the next car behind him. Brian Zinn goes storming past Doug Doucette somehow, carrying a ton of speed through that section. This is Richard Swindell's following Michael Johnson and Bjorn Benches ahead. And it looks like Tyler Pierre Richards has almost got that move done. He's had to get out of it though. Justin Torres being very tenacious about keeping that spot, and it looks like Steven Liston ahead of these guys has head into the pits. Jonathan Cooper also coming in for his pit stop and getting out of all of the traffic. And Tyler Pierre Richards has also decided to come into the pits and get out of the traffic. Smart move there. Up top, Nick Harwood with a healthy 12.5 second lead. He can really hang out. Kevin Sandiego is also hanging out, although Jordan Lacey only 4 seconds back. So another one of those spins will lose him second place. Kemp 5 seconds behind him, so Brian might go for the cutback here if he can, although he won't be on the inside for the next one anyways. Best to just let Corey have it. Stay out of Vincent Wood's grasp. Looks like between 11 and 13 is the pit stop time, although Nick Harwood could pretty much get a new set of boots and stay in the lead at this race. We got Richard Swindells, Vincent Wood, Gun Kim all coming in for fuel. Michael Johnson, Michael Harney also come in. Gun Kim just cannot wait to use that fuel. 12.1 stationary for him. Vincent Wood also comes in. Richard Swindells with a 9.9, Michael Harney with a 10.6. I hope and pray that they all have enough fuel to finish the race. Oh, Andrew Rasmussen there, having an incident just ahead of Justin Torres at T1. Going to be able to clear him. And Tyler Pierre Richards still behind these guys. Andrew Rasmussen with another off-track wraps. He has some significant damage. He now just realized coming around the S's. Oh, Andy Cantu feeling very racy after fixing something on his computer. We're seeing to some kids or something like that. He's back out on track climbing his way back up. Your top three at the moment are in for their stops. And Nick Harwood inherits the lead again. Ryan DeVries released into second place. Corey Mitchell comes in. Jordan Lacey now a second behind Kevin Sandiego, so that 4-second lead that Kevin had is now under half a second, as he's going to be put under some pressure for the last 15 minutes of the race here. Clifton Naranjo comes back out, and he is 4 seconds down. Let's quick look at the stationary times. 12 seconds, 10, 10, and 12 for Gun Kim. Troy Banks has not been to the pits yet, is sitting in 7th. Neither has Kent Kruger. It's been pushed up to 8th because of that. But it doesn't look like the guys who have pitted have come out into any sort of traffic, really. It's pretty convenient, the people who did pit and did not pit. Oh, Vincent Wood here. Vincent Wood seemed to have a bunch of off tracks in a row. Let's see what had happened. That looked like one. Sorry, Vincent. Oh, and he's forced, for the good of the race, to do the old Austin Powers, except on the grass, which is really hurts. That's probably why, because we're not live at the moment. Brian DeVries comes in for his pit stop, trying to get above Corey Mitchell. Troy Banks finally comes in for his stop. I think this is probably the last possible moment they can. A long 2-minute lap. Let's keep an eye on Brian DeVries here. And here comes Corey Mitchell down the pit straight. Now Brian has lost out on that battle big time. And he's now going to be surplus of about 3 seconds behind Corey. Bryce Carter, the only car still to stop. Oh, I could have sworn I just saw him come out a moment ago. Kevin Sandiego still successfully holding off Jordan Lacey. If you look at the traffic map, you can just see how spread out all the drivers are on track, and how any incident most certainly will lose use of positions. Troy Banks, as you can see there, now leading this little pack. That strategy has worked out for him. Let's see if his pit stop time had anything to do with it. It was a 9.5 second stop for him, so that 2 seconds would put him at the back of this pack. So well done, Troy. That might just get you a bunch of points. It'd really just be 4 to 6 points. It's still hard to earn points, man. The leader gets 70, and it's subtracting 3 points per position for the top 10, and then 2 points per position outside of the top 10. These guys are running 14th, 15th, and 16th, respectively. Troy Banks getting a little bit of a gap there as Justin Torres and Tyler Pierre Richards start to fight. Andy Cantu trying to get by Brian Zen. Keep doing his thing up the grid. Kevin Sandiego keeping ahead. Corey Mitchell now only 1.5 ahead of Brian DeVries. Richard Swindells has had a fairly lonely race at times. Michael Harney now behind him. Daniel Doan, who has not had a boring race whatsoever. some great racing here. Douglas Doucette is in the Corvette in front. Oh, and the two Porsches nearly up. I can go back to this battle, and that's Brian Zinn off track. He's not had the most fun through the S's. Software didn't even register it happening. So not going to get a chance to look at it again. Michael Johnson now battling with Jonathan Cooper, trying to complete this move they started about 4 turns ago, and looks like he's going to get it done here. Although Justin, very tenacious, and it's going to keep him honest to make him work for it. Oh, Russell Elizondo having a crash. Stephen Liston. Oh goodness, Gun Kim having a crash. Russell Elizondo. Oh. I don't know quite what had happened. So we're going to have to limp this thing home. Let's see what had happened to Stephen Liston here as he comes down to the end of the back straights. Nothing major, just outbreaks himself a little bit. Gun Kim having some issues. Looks like it's into T1. His tires have just about had it with him since we have 32 minutes on the board. Getting a little loose into this really difficult corner. I keep saying that is the hardest one on the entire track, and that's the same incident over and over for Russell. Michael Harney, Richard Swindells, and Daniel Doan into the top 10, picking up good points on our first GTE race of the season. Troy Banks has been able to get by Jonathan Cooper here. He's back through the S's, which makes me think Jonathan just had an issue back there and has now put some metal in between him and Tyler Pierre Richards. He's been after him. Justin Torres still the caboose of this little pack. Nick Harwood cruising 18 seconds up top. San Diego with a little lock up there out onto the straights. Might invite Jordan Lacey. And Gun Kim has just parked it. Wonder what had happened there. He got the Dorito and just spun out. And he was done with his race at that point. Does Bjorn actually have an incident? Oh great, he goes wide. Good. Good. Does he go wide down here at the hairpin? Where's the second off track considered? I don't know. It doesn't quite like me. Oh, and Justin Torres with a crash. Get a put him down only one position. So that's Vincent Wood just behind him there. He sees a big lockup from Tyler Pierre Richards ahead and decides that's a good idea. Four minutes to race here. Wrap up our time in Texas. Looking to get this move done on Jonathan Cooper, just barely staying in charge of that thing. Jonathan Cooper has nothing to fight back with as that Porsche just scurries down the road. Daniel Doan closing on Michael Harney here, although he has been for some time. Another incident for Andrew here. He's one of our members who is glad to see the backside of this track and get it out of the way. Just the rear end not cooperating into the braking zone. It looks like Daniel Doan is able to finally get that move done as Michael locks up big time at the end of the straights. He's now got Bjorn Benches just behind him. Michael Johnson also closing to make for a little exciting battle. Under 2 minutes to go here. Brian DeVries into the pits. I don't know if it was a drive-through penalty he had to serve. He's down to 11th from his 7th place spot. Vincent Wood is the next to try a move on Jonathan Cooper. Bjorn Benches now has Michael Johnson for company here. And Richard Swindell is now under a little bit of pressure from Daniel, who's just been climbing all race, up 17 positions. Something I have not mentioned yet. It's been pretty hasty out there. And we're into our final race minute. Ooh, Michael Johnson to the inside of Bjorn. He's going to get this one done, hopefully. Or not hopefully, but possibly. Oh, go back to that. Maybe by the end of the straights here. It depends if he locks up, which he did. He's able to keep hold of it, though. Vincent Wood got that move done on Jonathan Cooper. Russell Abraham is battling with Brian Zinn to the inside, although it seems like Brian just let that one happen. Maybe he had a slowdown penalty or something. He's losing tons of time down the straights. Michael Johnson now battling with Michael Harney again. Richard Swindell's having to defend to the inside and does a great job to cut off the cutback maneuver there, really coming all the way across the road and cutting off the angle. Now he can survive through the S's. And we are out of race time here. And we'll be waiting for Nick Harwood to cross the line. It's Doug Doucette to the inside. Andy Cantu to the outside. Andy's just drops the anchor so much later. Michael Harney just about being pushed down the road by Michael Johnson. And Nick Harwood crosses the line as your race winner. Richard Swindell's defending with everything he has. Trying to keep Daniel Doan off him. Very tricky corner there they come into. Oh, and Michael Johnson has made his way by Michael Harney. Just ahead, Richard Swindell's coming around the big right-hand turtle carousel. He's got 2 turns to go to hold on to it. And Daniel will have to settle for a 7th. Oh, if he can, keep it out of the wall there. Really stepping on it as Michael Johnson comes down the line behind him. Michael Harney and Bjorn Benches. And those race results, where you at, race results? And again, they don't seem to want to cooperate with us this evening, which is awfully strange. We're going to have to diagnose this later this evening, but let's see it any way we can. Oh, there we go. We got some points out. There's some standings out there. It's Nick Harwood taking the win, followed by Kevin San Diego and Jordan Lacey in 3rd place for the podium positions. Clifton Naranjo comes in 4th, followed by Corey Mitchell, moves up to 5th. Richard Swindell holds on to 6th place there, followed by Daniel Doan, Michael Johnson ahead of Michael Harney, Bjorn Benches wrapping out the top 10. Brian DeVries is followed by Troy Banks, Tyler Pierre Richards, Vincent Wood, Jonathan Cooper, Justin Torres ahead of Kent Kruger, Steven Liston, Andy Cantu, Douglas Doucette, Andrew Rasmussen, Bryce Carter, Russell Abraham, Brian Zen, Peter Ransom, and Russell Elizondo. And then we saw Gun Kim and Andres Prieto exit a little early. As always, make sure you hit that thumbs down button. Never subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell button an even number of times. We will see you next week on Sunday for the MX5s. Please join us for that. We will see you then, everybody. Take it easy.